Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica, our continuing series on the Sega Dreamcast, NAOMI and Hikaru, and today we're taking a look at Cosmic Smash on the Dreamcast. It's one of the later release games for the system, and weirdly enough, it's one of the few games that came in a DVD case versus a CD-ROM jewel case. But if you've ever played Pong before, you're going to understand the basics of Cosmic Smash almost instantaneously, but this game is much deeper when you get to learn it than something like Pong ever could be. Before we get too far involved though, if you do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we have a Patreon link down there as well. But I really love Cosmic Smash for multiple reasons. First of all, it is extremely easy just to pick up and play. There's only a few buttons you have to hit, and once you know what those buttons are, you can start playing the game. But like a lot of games like this, where the difficulty and where the interests lie is trying to get better at the game, because it's instantaneously understandable to how to play it, but to actually get good and understand what the game wants you to do takes a lot of trial and error, and it's the type of game where you really get to learn. And of course, just like Rez, just like Space Channel 5, and a lot of the games on the Dreamcast, they are highly stylized. This game looks incredible, and I would love to have something like this in virtual reality. Just give me Cosmic Smash VR Sega and I would be totally happy. But you'll see right off the front, we just have a few different things we can do. We can hit the ball, we can charge hit the ball, we can move left and right. Where the insane difficulty and challenge in the game lies is that you need to hit the ball while also slightly moving the analog stick in the direction you want to hit it to, because there's going to be a lot of those panels that you need to strike that are going to be in areas where you're not going to just be able to hit if you just swing your racket with the A button. You need to be able to put some spin onto each and every one of those shots, and that's where learning each individual level and getting better at the game becomes highly addicting. You can get 5 to 10 rounds of Cosmic Smash in very quickly. And you'll see there we just charged a shot up, and that was able to eliminate more than one panel. How it works is if you hit the ball and you bounce off a panel, the ball will return to you. If you power up your shot, it'll continue to go through all the panels that it can strike until it bounces back off that wall towards you. And you will see that each level is timed. There are no continues. Run out of time, the game is over. And you'll see here, now those panels are starting to move, and as we direct our shots with the analog stick, it becomes ever so slightly more difficult to get the ball in the place we need it to be. And sometimes the ball is just going to be completely going past you. You'll lose a few seconds, but sometimes it's advisable just so you can kind of reset your shot, because just like Pong or Breakout or anything like that, even Arkanoid, once the ball gets a little bit too wild, sometimes actually taking, I'd call it a death, but in this instance it just goes past you, that can actually be strategically more important than trying to continue to hit it until it gets on a trajectory that you're looking for. But basically the story, and there isn't much, is that you're going through a train system or a transit system, and each stop is a different individual level of Cosmic Smash, and the further you go, the harder it gets. You'll see here now we have a glass barrier that we cannot get past, so we have to charge that shot up and pop it by. And because we were able to accurately strike that ball with the charge shot, it went through all the panels. Now had we hit it without that charge shot, it either would have bounced back towards us or it would have kept pinballing off that glass partition. So you can, just like a game of Breakout, get the ball in a certain place where you're going to be eliminating panels without actually having to do anything for yourself. But what I do love about this is that you take a lot of time practicing to understand how this game works. You can memorize levels. The levels are always in the same order, and as long as you're getting good at them, suddenly what was difficult on a previous playthrough becomes second nature. You'll see here, it took me like 4 shots to be able to knock all those panels out. If I continue to play the game, I'll know exactly the cadence that I want to strike at and be able to knock each panel off within 2 to 3 seconds. Sometimes it'll take you 60 seconds to beat the level the first time, and the next time you play it takes you 2 seconds. But listen, the soundtrack is quite good. I'll be back in about a minute and tell you more why this simple game is actually one you should check out.
Your score is Next level, Cosmic Bus
コズミックバス
767.
767
Have a
お楽し
blast.
みください。
And you'll see there towards the end of that last level, I had a few shots that just were not hitting, and that's where the difficulty and interest in this game really lies, is learning how to manipulate the analog stick to get that ball exactly where you need it to. Because you see here, I'm playing better on this stage, and I'm now striking where I need to. But now that there's only one panel left, it becomes much more difficult. But the great thing is, the difficulty is actually where a lot of the intrigue and challenge for this game lies, because if it was so easy that you could eliminate every level quickly, this game would only last you probably 10 to 15 minutes. But it's the learning experience. And this obviously came over from the Sega NAOMI, so this was an arcade game. So really the challenge had to lie in learning how to play the game. And you'll see here we're coming up on a junction, and once we get past this stage, we can take different directions. We can make the game easier or harder. But you'll see right off the top, once we get that ball back with that charge shot and we start using those glass panels, we just knocked half the arena apart with one shot. And that's really what you want to be working on. And as you play the game more, you'll start realizing that there's certain strategies to be able to play better. And because the games sometimes last, if you're doing poorly, 60 to 90 seconds, then you have to start from the beginning, it gives you a lot of chances to be able to do something like I just did, which is to eliminate most of the play field with one individual shot. And that's what I love about this game in general. You'll see here we're getting real close to time and we're just going to pull it out. But the amount of challenge is just what I love. This is the type of game where you can play for 10 minutes, have a great time, and then turn it off, or you can play for hours on end trying to get better and trying to figure out what the best route through the game is going to be. And that's why it's on my list of some of the favorite Dreamcast games of all times, and one that I absolutely recommend. Mostly because it was so late in the Dreamcast's life and it was only exclusive to Japan, not a lot of people seem to have heard about Cosmic Smash nor played it. I definitely think people should, because it's a simple pick-up-and-play arcade game that becomes infinitely deep once you really get into it. And you'll see here as we're further on, I only have 20 seconds to be able to beat this stage, and this unfortunately is where I died on this individual playthrough. But, like I said, if you've never played this before, I can't recommend it highly enough. If you have any questions or comments, do me a favor, leave them down below. I love chatting with you guys, and I will be back next Tuesday with another episode in our Dreamcast, Hikaru, and NAOMI series. Additionally, I will have videos on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday as well. But you'll see, we didn't really get that far into the game. But once you get good at the game, and I have been good at it in the past, you can beat this in 15 minutes. Short of that, thanks so much for watching. Do me a huge favor, hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you guys next time.